What's up, everybody out there? Thank you so much for tuning in to another video over here at Popular View. I want to personally say thank you. Again, welcome. New viewers, returning viewers, you subscribers, new viewers, returning viewers. I will appreciate it if you take this journey with me and hit that subscribe button, as well as all of you hit the like button, as well as leave a comment. We're about 100% participation over here, right? So, as you know, I'm talking about Klymaxx's Bernadette Cooper and Joyce Fenderella Irby. Now, I don't want to get you guys confused. So I switched the pictures over because I noticed that whenever I say Bernadette Cooper, I'm trying to reach over on the other side. But this lady here is Bernadette Cooper. I want to make sure everybody understands. So the lady right here, this pose is Bernadette Cooper. The other lady at the end is Joyce Fenderella Irby. I wanted to switch it up so you guys wouldn't get confused. So if you're following with me now, make sure everything kind of stays in line. I want to make sure of that, okay? Just picking up where I left off, that's what I feel personally. I don't think they had, I think it was too much girl power. Just me personally. You know, when I look at other artists' careers. So, okay, you're saying to yourself, well, how is that? And how does that work? Well, let's look at Karen White. Okay, I'm just throwing out names. I'm just kind of letting it flow to me. Let's look at Karen White. Karen White was very successful her first time out, right? She's on Warner Brothers Records. That machine, that company, for her to work with only LA and Babyface for the most part. They did her whole album, right? So if they put her up with paired her up with LA and Babyface, you know they dished out some money for her project. It's just a given. Okay. And if they put that much money into an LA and a Babyface to pay them to work on Karen's project, then you know that they put the money behind her in order for her records to be successful, and they were, right? Going somewhere. Then they teamed her up with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, the next record. We see y'all. I can feel it. Y'all are trying to drag me into dishing out the dirt on who dropped Kick 2 in these entertainment streets, but I might say that for another video. I'm talking about my R&B divas. You got to handle the R&B divas with delicacy. You just can't just go around. You know what I'm saying? You know? Just saying. I might talk about it later, but I just can't. Just bear with me. Just fill it in for yourself. So they pair her up with not LA, but Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, the next album, right? And they do well. Then they pair her back up again with, it's kind of mixed this time around with the Make 'Em Do Right CD, isn't it? And that was probably in 1994, I think, the Make 'Em Do Right with Karen White CD. And let's just say it was a different flavor altogether. All right. Different kind of sound, all of that. Well, her marriage to Terry Lewis is about to start to, fizzle. And so she sees herself going in a different direction in her life, so on and so forth. She's out the picture. To me, I can say it's that Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis connection, the boys. I hate to say it that way. Or the LA and Babyface connection. What about management? Who's there to guide her, so on and so forth, career-wise? I'm giving an example. I know there's a whole nother story behind it. Just follow me. Let's look at Pebbles. Pebbles, very independent woman. We got the story about Pebbles, how she came to, to popularity. Okay. She comes in, she's already have written worked with other artists in the business. She's very present on her debut album. And what I mean by that, she's writing and producing. Okay. And not only does she know what she wants, she's not afraid to say, this is how I see it, and if you don't do it, you're out of here. I'm talking about Pebbles. Because from my understanding, the history behind the Girlfriends video concept is the fact that she hired somebody to do the first video, that it didn't turn out well for her. So she pretty much like, I ain't got time for this, blah, blah, blah. I know what I want. So she comes up with her own video ideas, concepts. Okay. And then, of course, how she, oh gosh, I'm just going to use the legend, how she allegedly came about with the song Girlfriend, right? How that happened. No need to spill the beans on it. It is just what it is. Go look it up for yourself. And so she does that, which then parlays into a relationship with L.A. Reid and a business relationship with L.A. and Babyface. They pretty much produce her second album, Always. She gets a Grammy nomination with the song Giving You the Benefit. She's in the Boys Club, is where I'm going. Do you see what I'm saying? And you know how that turned out. They kicked out the Boys Club. Let's just call it what it is. Pebbles was kicked out the Boys Club. Same thing with Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson, she's in the club with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. But I mean, they have the men behind them. And they have a particular kind of man behind her, who can definitely call the shots and open up doors for them. As female artists. Right? Also, you're saying I'm wrong. Well, ask Sherelle. Sherelle, I didn't mean to turn you on. Sherelle and Alexander O'Neal. Saturday Love, that Sherelle. When she comes out in 1991 with her record, by the way, I bought it. I love you, Sherelle. It was just not the record for me. I liked my favorite song on that Sherelle record, The Woman I Am, is a song called 7 Days a Week. Good song. I like that song. I also like Tears of Joy and Never in My Life. So there's 3 good singles on that record, by the way. But she's no longer working with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, who is pretty much, they're creating a sound, molding them, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. That's where I'm going with that. Okay. Any more ladies I can name? But do you see where I'm going? I don't think that Klymaxx was in the Boys Club. I think here you have a group of women, as I said before, calling the shots, writing and producing, and making headway. And there was no one there to cushion. I'm not going to call it the fall, but soften. I could say cushion, soften, same thing. I guess the blows that you can get from the music industry, right? And so this is my opinion. Without having read the book, I'm talking about Joyce's book. My opinion of it is that, oh gosh, here I go. Well, we see, y'all want to just do this to me. I just feel like y'all just don't want. Oh God, why they do this? They want me to dish out the dirt on who drop kicked who in these entertainment streets. I can feel it. Okay, you ready? Okay, you ready? I'm ready. You have a female, Joyce Fenderella Irby, over here at the end now. You have a young Dallas Austin, and for whatever reason, and I'm not speculating, I'm just going to call it for what it is. He's working with TLC and Boyz II Men. He's definitely working with Boyz II Men, because notice the Boyz II Men, when does Boyz II Men come out? They come after In Vogue. Boyz II Men, when you come out, I want to say 91. Something telling me in my spirit it's 91. In my spirit. It had look at my music spirit and my music catalog within me. Something tells me 1991, and I am correct. 1991. Dang, I'm good. They come out in 1991. Joyce is definitely working with Dallas Austin. And depending on who you talk to, a young guy producing this, that, and the other, and he's offered to produce. He says yes, so on and so forth. He's already tied business-wise to Joyce Irby. And I'm going to wait to read the book. But I will say, I think this is an example of Joyce, to me, being kicked out of the Boys Club, or having some retaliation going on with her because she's not one of the guys. She's a female. I hate to sound sexist, and I apologize ahead of time right now for making it sound sexist, because they would do it to guys too. You know, guys will do it to other guys too. But you have a strong, independent woman calling the shots. That's all I'm going to say. And at this time, they're assigned to what? Both of them are on Motown Records, right? Joyce is on Motown. Isn't Boyz II Men is on Motown? So all of them affiliated with each other. It's part of Biv 10, Michael Bivins. And I just feel like within my spirit, my music spirit, there's just some things that are probably going on that are a little bit underhanded. And what I mean by underhanded, I need to quit. That if Joyce had the proper people on her side willing to defend her and take up for her interest, then I don't think it would have turned out for her the way it did. Remember what I told you. Luell is out of the picture for Bernadette. So her record, it really doesn't even take off as well as it is. Joyce, on the other hand, is working, bringing other artists in, working with them, this, then the other. They're producing her work, so on and so forth. Her album, takes off, does well with, about 2 or 3 good hit singles on it. Her artist that is signed to her, think about it. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not blowing this up. It's what it is. One of her artists is working with Boyz II Men. We do know what happens to Boyz II Men after they release Cooley High Harmony. Like, Boyz II Men becomes an iconic group. They literally blow up overnight. And I think she finds herself out of the club. Which leads me to saying, what happened to the ladies of Klymaxx, these two ladies, that their careers did not take off, their solo careers did not take off? Okay, here's a prime example. You know, I talk about Angela Winbush all the time. I'll give you an example. Angela Winbush leaves Polygram Records, as I tell you, because the people who had power left. Those executives, those whoever was in the best interest of her career, they left. She leaves. Although she is without a recording contract, she has her production company, and she is pretty much working as it relates to trying to get Ron Isley's career back up. Because by this time, Ron Isley doesn't have any Isley brothers, right? In 1989. Like he's really solo. And so again, they're working out deals, this, then the other, blah, blah, blah. They get the Isley brothers back together with Ernie and Marvin. They're on Electric Records. Isley Brothers on Electric Records. Then guess what? Angela is on Electric Records, and they're writing and producing, and it's going about its thing. And then after that deal falls through with Electric Records, they're back up and running. He opens up T-Net Records, so on and so forth. And it comes Mr. Biggs, this, that, and the other. Angela Winbush is singing duets with him on that record, blah, blah, blah. Do you see where I'm going? But it seems like, and even though Joyce's career continues to go as far as her, signing other artists, so on and so forth, but you don't hear anything else from her musically like that. At least I don't. As I said, I have not followed them enough to speak in depth about their catalog. And since I did not listen to Sammy and Lord and all of them, but because I like TLC and Boyz II Men's music, I'm familiar with Dallas Austin. You see what I'm saying? So where are these individuals to give these ladies the support they need in order to continue to flourish in this business? It is such a shame to see that the possibilities of what could have happened with their careers. As a matter of fact, I think about it, somehow or another, Bernadette, if I'm not mistaken, why do I see, what's that lady name? Bette Midler. I remember Bette Midler performing I Look Good many years ago. And I always wondered, how did Bernadette, not Bernadette, but Bette Midler, discover the song I Look Good? So I want to think that Bernadette probably has worked with Bette Midler. But the possibilities of what could have been. Now, as I'm ending, and I think I'm going to end the video like this because I don't, as I said, I never go where people think that, I'm going to go, or at least I know I never do. I'm always going in a different direction, and I like that. It's what it is. So now what we have with Klymaxx is that we have 3 bands. We have Bernadette's band, we have Joyce Irby's band, and we have Cheryl Cooley's band, right? Is it Cheryl Cooley? I think it's Cheryl Cooley. Isn't it Cheryl Cooley? Isn't Cheryl Cooley the one who has the band, has of it's got to be. It's got to be her. Right? Yeah. Yeah, because Cheryl Cooley doesn't. I don't think Cheryl Cooley has ever sung on the record. So yeah, it's Cheryl Cooley. It has to be Cheryl Cooley. All right, let me say this as far as their albums are concerned, because it just popped into my head. I don't want to miss this. Klymaxx releases a record in 1990. They're on MCA Records, and Bernadette is on MCA Records in 1990. Go figure. A song called The Max Is Back, or an album called The Max Is Back. I remember it. I love Good Love. I like Good Love, that single off of The Max Is Back. Definitely not a Klymaxx album at all that we know of Klymaxx. Good attempt at a comeback, if you call it, or reinventing themselves. Like, it was a decent attempt. It wasn't bad at all. Where I'm going is that I was pleasantly surprised to see that Bernadette had maybe one or two songs on that album. I don't know how that came up. I don't know if it was some songs that they had worked on previously and they decided to add it to the album. I'm not quite sure. But guess who else album Bernadette works on? Yeah, she shows up on Joyce Fenderella Irby's record. She does. She does some production on that album for Joyce. So where am I going? So now we have 3 Klymaxx, each different. I think with the Klymaxx that I see now with Bernadette is you definitely get the personality of Klymaxx. You do, in all of the trimmings. When I hear Joyce's Klymaxx, I get the Klymaxx sound. I'm going somewhere as I'm wrapping this up. Notice what I said about these ladies and where they could have gone in their careers. Their solo effort, their individual efforts. I know we probably would like to see Klymaxx get back together again. I mean, they're already touring. These ladies are performing in a Klymaxx band. I'm just letting you know that for those of you who are probably like, well, no, they are performing. And here's what I'm going to put out in the universe, in the atmosphere. And if it happens, it happens. I think that the tensions between this group, who owns what, why, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to ask them to set that aside. I've dealt with that with the In Vogue story, and I'm here to tell you I'm done. But what I will say is that I would hope that Bernadette Cooper and Joyce Fenderella Irby, if they have differences, I don't know. I know Bernadette, as you said, she left the group, and that was probably to pursue her other individual interests of creating other acts and producing her work and doing more writing and producing. It probably what she wanted to focus on. And Joyce is saying she was kicked out of the group. I think these 2 ladies, this is just my opinion, owe us one. They do. Bernadette Cooper and Joyce Fenderella owe us one. They owe us, the fans. These 2 ladies need to get together and they need to go into the studio and they need to go in as a duo a production team and say, you know what? Let's do this one. Just us two. We ain't got to. We know who we are as artists. You know you're Bernadette. Slap me because I'm not in the mood, or don't slap me because I'm not in the mood. And we know that you're Joyce Irby over here at the top at the end. We know that you're Joyce Irby. You know who you are as individuals. It has nothing to do with Klymaxx at all. I think you ladies can, here's what I am petitioning, just like I did for En Vogue. It's just what I'm doing. I think you should call Lynn up and say, Lynn, you know, we're not asking you to be a part of the group as far as come back in and, you know, perform with us and this, that, and the other. No. But we do need something of you. We need those songwriting skills you got. You know, those pop hits that make Joyce sound so good singing. We need one of those, or a couple, or a few. And I think you two ladies are the ones who should go into the studio and work together and put out a project together. Yeah, I do. I feel good about that. I feel good about it being a Lynn, Joyce, and Bernadette project. As I said, Lynn doesn't have to perform, but I think she would it would be a pleasant surprise. It would be a pleasant reuniting with her just writing, like give us some, give us some great music, you know, and it doesn't have to be an I miss you type of song. We don't have to try to recapture what was. We can do it just right where we are in our lives. I think you can do it. I do. Yeah. Woo. I know there's a lot to talk about. Like I said, I'm gonna save the other stuff for later. We'll get down and we'll talk about that. But I'm waiting on the book. I want to read the book. Is basically where I'm going with it. I'm going to read the book. On that note, hey, it turned out to be 3 parts, and I'm okay with that. Oh, gosh, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you stay with me this long, at this moment in time, you are a subscriber. Yes, subscribe, like, share, comment, do all of that, right? I appreciate you so much for, you know, taking this trip with me. And I pray that you find the strength within yourself, your mind, heart, body, and soul to put your behind where your heart desires to be. I pray that, you know, you find that love, that unconditional love that you need in your life, that is required in your life. Yes, wonderful, good people in your life to help you get to where you desire to be. Right? I do. And on that note, you know what? You already know what I'm about to say right now. See you next video. And until then, you all take care of yourselves out there.